Ichigo, Ichie, the unrepeatable nature of a moment. A reminder to be present and treasure each encounter, for it will never return. This is The Seventh Seat, a dinner inviting 6 strangers to unmask and share their stories.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
There you go.
Good.
Can feel the heat, eh?
Huh?
Can feel the heat.
Yeah.
Very
Wow.
hot.
I don't mind that.
Yeah,
Get a bit of colour, you know?
exactly. Hello.
Hi.
Looking forward to a glass of sparkling.
It'll be good, won't it? Should be fun.
Hello.
Hi.
Is free seating?
No.
Oh yeah, there's the name. How's that?
Hello.
Hey,
How you going?
good, good.
G'day.
G'day.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi there.
Me? This is me.
Oh my
Thank
God, we're all here. How exciting.
How exciting. Are we nervous?
Yeah.
Shall we cheers?
Yes, let's do it. I was waiting. I'm like,
No, I'm joking. I hope you got a few bottles out there. Just thinking.
I hadn't had a drink for a year until yesterday. Yeah. So now I'm going 2 days in a row.
Hello.
Good evening. I'm Steve George Macris. Thank you for being here. Tonight is simple. There's no script, no prepared questions, no right or wrong way to be. Just 6 strangers sharing a meal and seeing where the truth takes us. Every one of you has lived a real life, victories, losses, turning points. Whatever you bring with you, it's welcome here. The 7th seat is the space we hold for honesty, for the things we don't usually say out loud, for moments that come from the gut. So tonight, be yourself, share what's real, and let the night unfold on its own. Welcome to the 7th seat. Manny, would you like to introduce yourself to the table?
Of course. My name's Manny Karudas. I'm from Sydney. I'm a journalist, podcast host, and author.
Hi, my name is Paula, but I'm better known as Miss Pearls. And I am also known as the Madam of Melbourne.
My God, amazing.
Hi, my name's Ben Hosking. I'm a decorated former Northern Territory Police Tactical Group veteran. I'm from Darwin, and I co-run one of the largest executive protection firms in Australia and Southeast Asia.
My name is Nicole. I also go by Nikki. I am from the Gold Coast and I am an artist and run an online gallery.
Hi, my name is Waco Tao from Melbourne, originally born in Shanghai, been in Australia for whatever years, or disclose afterwards. I'm a supply chain engineer by trade, but I'm also an entrepreneur running a prefab housing movement currently in Australia.
Hi, I'm Noni Berro. I'm from the Torres Strait. Born and bred on Mer Island, speak English as a second language. I'm a native food chef, but I also am an author, and I also present on television too as well on cooking shows.
Thanks, Noni. We've got a bit of a surprise today. We have got one of the best chefs, in my opinion, for Spanish food in Australia. Could call him the godfather of Spanish food, but I think in Spanish it's called El Padrino. I'd like to introduce you to the man that brought Spain to Australia, Mr. Frank Camorra.
Well, I guess it would be silly for me not to serve Spanish food, so that's, it is what's on the box. So I'm going to create pretty much some very traditional Spanish dishes. So I'm not going to try and go outside the box. So we've got some octopus, which is one of my favourite dishes from the north of Spain, from Galicia. We've got some beautiful garlic prawns cooked in sherry, which for me is one of the pleasures of life, dipping your bread into it and enjoying that. I've got a few other little things as well, a few little nibbles. And then to finish off, we've got some beautiful little suckling pig that I've roasted crispy and with a little cherry sauce. So and some vegetables. I've made a Galician empanada pie as well. So plenty to eat.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
My mouth's watering. Yeah, cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
My mouth is definitely watering.
Yeah, let's have an amazing night. Ooh, hello.
Wow.
So beautiful prawns cooked in oil and sherry. They are stunning. Just in the centre here we have a really beautiful sheer Wagyu tartare with flavours of Gilda, plus a bonus Gilda on top. We also have at either end of the table the fantastic Movida sourdough, olive oil, and a new little thing here, a stunning anchovy butter. And then in the centre we have a really beautiful Galician octopus dish, which stunning soft potato underneath, that beautiful braised octopus.
Wow.
And lots of paprika, lots of olive oil. One of my favourite dishes, one of Frank's favourite dishes.
Hang on, I'm going to try this now. Oh,
Oh, wow. That's the nicest prawn I've ever eaten in my life.
To be on that. That is just incredible. Wow.
It's a lonely old time.
Manny, can I ask, you said author, what have you published?
Well, the podcast I do, I'm an ex-cop too. And I used to work on Missing Persons Unit, the TV show.
Yeah, wow.
I joined New South Wales Police straight after a year after school.
Yeah.
And at the academy, I asked to be stationed at Darlinghurst. It was 1984. And then I was at Darlinghurst. And then after about, I think, 16 months, I got asked to join Darlinghurst Detectives. And then I worked in King's Cross Detectives in the 80s.
You've got some
so there's some good
stories.
stuff. Yeah. No, it was good. You've got an interesting. Oh my God!
I was being a little bit cheeky.
Were you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
what's the
I'm not a
story?
madam in the typical sense, but I used to be a part owner of a gorgeous rooftop bar called Madam Brussels. So I was
Very cheeky. I like the way you framed that.
very well known as the Madam of Melbourne. I had that for many, many years, the first rooftop bar in Melbourne. So we were the first sort of group to go up because we discovered that the cheapest rent was on top of a roof. And now the most expensive rent is on the roof. So we were kind of trailblazers in that sense. Also, our quirky, fun sort of way we established our rooftop, it was very female friendly. And I used to say, we're still servicing, but with liquor. And all the kids that worked there was so many beautiful people that worked there, all had like little tennis skirts on and little white tight shorts. And they all looked like tennis players. And
I reckon we should go there after this.
And I moved on to absolutely greener pastures. I'm now the general manager of a private club called the Kelvin Club, which I completely adore. The only one in Australia to be co-ed.
Wow,
And
that's
it's all about
fantastic.
social networking, where arts and culture and science all comes together.
Is it
so
difficult
lovely.
to join?
You have to know me.
Yeah. To say most clubs are, aren't they?
Because it really truly is a secret of Melbourne. And I love secrets. Madame Brussels used to be a secret. The Calvin Club is a secret. Whatever I do next will be a bigger secret.
Oh, Miss Pearls, thank you. Amazing. You're a gem.
Thank
No
you,
pun intended, but you are a real gem.
Yeah, pearls. Only semi-precious.
Oh, no. I want to hear about James Bond, because this guy, there's something about him which I feel is just being really low.
He's been hiding.
He's hiding and he's just going,
Just hiding at the end of the table.
I've done it all.
I don't really know where you want to start.
mate, it doesn't matter where we start.
No. Certainly not James Bond.
Start with the police. So how long were you up there for?
Yeah, 11 years in the NT Police. And I was just a bush cop. I started remote. I was born and raised there, and I grew up in the bush. And moved out to Tennant Creek on my first posting. I volunteered. I loved it. And then met my lovely wife while I was in Tennant Creek. She was working for the Flying Doctors. Melinda and I were looking at having children, so we moved to Darwin because of the maternity ward at the hospital. And always wanted to go into tactical policing. That was the reason I joined NT Police. In Australia, we all fall under the Australian New Zealand Counter-Terrorism Committee doctrine, which was formed after the Hilton bombings for the Commonwealth Heads of Government. And so we're all interoperable. We don't necessarily work together all the time, but we can all be interchanged between different PTGs, police tactical groups. So I went and did that, and also did a little bit of covert work that was set up in the Northern Territory, which led to some things later on in my career that led to some other things in my career later on as well. I did that for about 4 years, and then left and went into private security.
Wow.
Why'd you leave the police?
For my wife.
Is she a nurse, doctor? Or?
Oh no, she was suffering from postnatal depression very badly. We'd had a conversation one night where she was feeling at odds with the world and didn't particularly see value in what we were doing there in the territory. We had, at the same time as I was in the tactical team up there, the Territory Response Group, we had a CrossFit affiliate that we were running and owned. We had a organic cafe that we were running as well. And then we had a strength and conditioning gym, and I'd also been somewhat involved in politics, so I'd spread myself quite thin.
You think?
Right.
And Melinda was the one that was picking up all of the slack. And so it took its toll. And after that conversation, we realised as a team that being in the Territory wasn't the right place for her. And so the family supporters on the Sunshine Coast, and I was looking at other options at the time. Like I'd already started to explore business. I was somewhat successful in what we were doing. It's been a tumultuous ride and some incredible times, and also had a little stint in one of Australia's intelligence agencies, and did some work domestically under an assumed identity, and then what I did was we had a client come over, and I won't say which one, but you can figure it out, for the Battle of Brisbane, and I volunteered to come across and work for free just to see what sort of work it is that, in comparison to at a national level for dignitary protection, which is what I'm used to operating in for like guests of government, visiting royals.
Police usually do that. I had a couple of my mates did it for John Howard,
Yeah. So anyone that falls under the Internationally Protected Persons Geneva Convention gets a dignitary protection detail, which is what I'm trained in. And I wanted to see whether or not in private industry it was the same as public. And the way we operated convinced me that it was a safe move. And, I wanted to get Melinda across to Queensland, and so we made the move.
Good on you.
Yeah.
See, you both tell a success story, right? Do you know why your story works? There's something behind it, very simple. Even Same with the restaurant business, the business you're trying to run. Everything comes in two values. First one is user value. User value, right? Everything's got a user value. What is a user value? Glass, the wine, and it's got a user value. So there's another value to it, cash value. So if you apply that idea to just about everything we do, it works, right? So whether it's a restaurant business or it's in our business, they come with two values. Same customer attracted to your members to attract to you. Why they keep coming back?
Because they love me.
That's That's part of the user value. It's part of it. So you pay $2 for, let's say $5 for a coffee, and you come with a little biscuit. That little biscuit is a user value.
Yes.
And then your neighbor that runs the same cafe might have a better coffee, but it don't. Sometimes you have two cafes running around.
Exactly.
One is extremely busy, people lining up outside, yet the other one is very quiet. Why? It's the user value. So the formula to success, this is what I've been doing, in my 30-odd years in Australia. And I learned this a while back for an ancient Chinese book. It says everything comes with two values. And if you can deliver more user value than the cash value you receive, you always winner. Always winner.
Really good. Yeah, I
Very
love it
simple.
too.
So for you to get, you must give.
Yeah, great.
A lot of people, actually, in China where I was born, especially in Shanghai, where I was born and bred, everybody knows the term called 舍得, meaning give. Right, give. But they do not understand the underlining meaning is actually to get.
Yeah, right.
But for you to get, you need to give first. I mean, that's the classic example. Yeah.
Pauline Hill wrote about something similar in Think and Grow Rich, which was do more than you paid for and you'll always be rewarded.
That's it. My all-time, that was actually my first virtual mentor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that changed my life. Yeah.
Oh, hang on. Sorry, Paula. Let's have a
My
moment.
God, pearls before swine.
Mr. Kimura, you've excelled again.
So can you tell us a little
Well, you
bit
probably
more?
know what that is. So it's a little suckling pig that's been slow roasted. It's organic from central Victoria.
Don't worry, Wake, I'll have your serve.
And beautiful cherry sauce to go with it. The little green peppers are padron peppers. Some are hot, some are not, but in this case, most are pretty hot at the moment, so be careful. And we have a empanada, Galician empanada pie. So it's got just some beautiful pesto braised vegetables in it, sherry pastry with a little bit of paprika. So, in case, obviously there's a lot of pie there. And I've got some asparagus for you coming as well. Enjoy.
Mate, what can I say? What restaurant on the planet beats this? Seriously.
Honestly, I want to go out for dinner with
seriously.
people I don't know all the time. This is by far the most interesting dinner I've ever had.
Nick, artist. What sort of stuff do you do?
I would describe my art as abstract. I was a traditional artist that created in a studio, and now I've recently learned how to create on the iPad. So I transformed my business from physical art to now prints. So I sell prints online, and I did that so that I could expand globally and make it more affordable, because an original art used to be $3 or $4 grand, and most people can't afford that. I relaunched the brand about a year ago. In fact, literally in a few days, it'll be 12 months. So, but before that, I had a very big career in retail management and general management, worked in Bunnings. I opened the first Bunnings warehouse actually, down in Melbourne. Yeah, it was, I worked with them for about 11 years, probably the highlight of my career. But I backed myself and went all in on my brand a year ago. So scary, and I've got 2 boys, so I'm single. And I had a good paycheck my whole life every week. And now I have this inconsistent, just as we were walking down, I had a sale and I was like, oh my God, I hadn't had one in a day. You're still paying for all of the things. So it's, that's me. Art's my medium. But for me, it's I am obsessive about women loving themselves first. So I talk to women mainly. I'm also gay, but I love women. I love everything about them. And my artwork is very storytelling and it's very empowering. And I wanted to, my nan was my mentor. And I was like, I'm going to get a good job, get a company car. I'm going to earn, first it was 50 grand, then it was 100 grand, then it was 150 grand. And I had this whole list, you know, and the bar was set very low in terms of men. As long as they didn't beat me up, take drugs or drink alcohol, I was like, they'll do. There was no love, there was no, and I married for the wrong reasons, you know.
But that
and
was
I knew
because
that.
you felt you needed to marry
I did,
a man
and I wanted to tick the box.
Society,
yeah, and I did, and I mean, I was pashing women at my hen's party, and I was like, I'm just gonna get it out of my system. And 2 years into the marriage and having a 2-year-old, it just, like it was the hardest thing I ever did, like to tear your family apart and to then come out.
But you got to be true to yourself.
Yeah, I'm very, very comfortable now. In fact, I'm probably more comfortable than most gay people that have been out their whole life. It doesn't define me. I don't think about it. It's just who I am. But I forget that the society hasn't caught up yet. So I'm often, you know, last night when I was out, people asking different questions.
I disagree.
I agree with you.
Sorry?
I disagree on that because I think
has
society
Melbourne.
has. Melbourne is like we're in a bubble there, but I have been gay since I was 13. You know, and it doesn't define me because I am defined by being a strong black woman. You know, and a Torres Strait Islander first. It's just my preference is that. But I think we have come a very long way. I grew up my dad was a minister and he was a lovely, lovely man, you know, who was a single dad who raised me to be a feminist,
Beautiful.
you know, and stand on my own 2 feet and all that kind of stuff. So I have this culture behind me. I have walking as a proud woman too as well, because my dad, who was a single dad, helped me to walk in community, you know? So, and when I see how far the community has come of acceptance, it's very different from my view. Cause like growing up on a tropical island, religious is massive, you know, and it defines us, but not anymore.
See, to me, that's the richness of life.
Yeah. I appreciate it
It's
so
not
much
the
more
money.
now that I'm an adult, you know?
You look back at that and
Yeah.
go, that's the richest. So when you were a kid in the Torres Strait Islands,
Born
what
and raised.
was your childhood like?
Oh, I mean, like I grew up with like a spear in my hand, I guess, on the
I
reef.
love that. I love that.
Yeah, my dad made me my spear when I was young, and then I was then told I got to maintain it. So if any dings or it got like bent or anything, you have to fix it yourself. But I spent my whole childhood outdoors, you know, like where you don't come home for lunch, you just make lunch outside and then you come home for dinner because like they tell you ghost stories, of course, see? Because our grandparents tell us this story of like, you know, that at night, like what they call the dog eye will come and eat the children.
Oh,
you know?
no, how
So
scary.
they just make us afraid of the duck.
Is
Thank you.
the dug eye similar to like the featherfoot up in the Northern
Yeah,
Territory?
yeah, like that.
Yeah, okay, interesting.
They get cooked like they go into elaborate story about like, you know, cooking us in underground ovens too as well. Oh my God. You know, called cup murrays. But yeah, no, but I just grew up like everything is in your backyard. Yams are like the first thing I ever dug up. We didn't grow up with potatoes. We grew up with yams. So first thing I dug up was a yam, you know, and eating stuff off the trees. When I moved at 18 to start my career in chefing and come down to Melbourne, city of food, obviously, I was like, how am I going to like forage now in a landscape like that? So I just found different ways of doing it in different places to get things out of the ocean or on the water side. And because I grew up around eating all of that from my backyard, I was like, we should be doing that now, like, you know, and celebrating that too.
Why do you think we are? Like, why aren't we eating more of the food you're talking about?
Well, a lot of it was taken away too as well, and other things were introduced. So when you think about like missions and stuff like that, right? They say, don't eat that because that's not real food, but here's a tin of flour and here's a tin of rice. You know, and that's what we grow up with. Like none of my family can have like a meat. I cook something for them. They're like, "Where's the rice?" You know, they've got to have everything with rice. But the good thing that comes out of those tin flours and stuff that, you know, we put is things that we develop now. Damper came out of that. Johnny cakes come out of that. Island scones came out of that. All of these delicious meals now came out of it. And so when you talk about native ingredients, it's like when things are taken away from you, and when that person sat down and she had the meal, she went, oh, I didn't know Indigenous people had cuisine. And I was like, I'm working on my goal weight here. You know, of course we have cuisine. So I get to now kind of represent Australia because I'm a ambassador for Tourism Australia. This year I got to, which was one of the coolest things I got to do as well, is go to Japan. And I got to meet the Princess of Japan and get her to eat like stuff that I grew up with, you know, and I took all the...
I hope you didn't take the damper and the rice.
No,
I hope you went a little bit more explorative.
Can I just, sorry to be rude, did you guys enjoy the meal?
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God, yeah.
Can we just
love
cheers?
of my life.
Cheers to the nod. Nod to the chef, to Tom. Cheers, guys. Thank you very much.
We can't thank you enough.
It's a thankless life.
He's up there
Thank you,
making
guys.
our sweets. I don't know how I'm going to fit it in. I really want a doggy bag. This is the best food I've ever had.
I'm just getting a good feeling that these desserts are just going to be amazing.
And even when I go to my
So we each have a stunning little chocolate sauce. You get one each, and then the legendary Frank Mora churros.
Not full anymore.
But that's not all.
Tell me you're
really?
now. Tell me you're savouring now.
Well, the classic is a little bit of PX sherry.
Oh, of course it is. That's exactly what I was thinking.
You got to have a little bit of sweet, even if you don't want to enjoy it. Use your hands, get in there, dip it into the chocolate, smother your face, enjoy it.
So you got your own chocolate.
Oh. Oh. You'll see that there's an envelope in front of you with your name on it. One by one we'll start, and you'll open your envelope, and then you'll read what's in it. We can start off with maybe you, Noni, with the first envelope. But
question for many. You've spent your life searching for people who vanished and giving voice to those who have forgotten. But I want to ask you something different. When you look back across everything you've seen, the cases, the heartbreak, the unanswered questions, what did all that take from you? And what did it give back to you as a man?
Well, you know what, I get asked this a lot. People say whether it takes a toll on me, you know, talking to people and hearing their sad stories. And I don't think it really does in that I guess when I use the sadness and the anguish in that, I use that as my motivation. So for me, it gives me strength to keep going, because I'll never feel how those people feel, but I can imagine it, and you know, you take it on board. But I try and use it as motivation, and I guess a couple of things. It lets me know how fortunate I am that I'm not in their position. But it also, I guess, for me, gives me a sense of pride that I'm doing something that is, you know, trying to help other people. And I know that, you know, in some of the stories I've covered, that we've actually had results. And yeah, these people, like the people missing, don't have a voice, and their families feel left behind once a case goes cold. So, you know, if I can keep them holding on to a bit of hope, I think it's really important.
Oh.
thanks, Manny. Well, actually, you know what? Whilst we're finished on Manny, why don't we get you, Manny, and you can go next.
Thank you.
Should have done a drum roll.
Question for Nicole. Nicole, your work invites women to see themselves again, not the world's version, their true version. What is the moment in your life when you realised that no one was coming to give you permission to love yourself, and you had to choose to become the woman you now paint?
So, I've never really shared this, but I'm going to on TV. After my separation from my ex-wife or my ex-partner, we never got down the aisle. I had never been alone. I'd always had a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and I'd never been alone in my entire life. And I found myself alone, and I had to work out who I was. And I ate, I dated, I drank, I had some drugs. I did all the things to try and make the feelings go away. And then I had to sit in my pain, and I had to grieve, and I had to go through a lot of childhood trauma. And I had a good couple of years where my mental health was pretty bad, you know, and I've been a very strong, driven, successful woman my whole life. So this was really hard for me. And in my darkest moments, I didn't want to wake up, you know, and it was really hard. And I almost couldn't even accept that, you know, but I got to a point where and it wasn't even dramatic. It's just, I could not bear the pain so much that I was like, I just think it will be easier to just not be here, you know, and I knew in that moment I realized I had to rebuild myself, and I had to learn to love who I was. And that was probably right now about 3.5 years ago. And in that 3.5 years, I've been mildly obsessed with being the best version of me that I can be. And it's meant removing people, family members, you know, I have a long distance relationship with my family, and it's been really, really hard. But that was the moment where I knew no one was saving me. You know, I think I'd owned 10 or 20 properties, but never one of my own. And now I have my own apartment, and I decorated it myself. And there's just so much strength in that. And I feel, you know, I now want to be that voice for those other women so that they can get out of the unhappy marriage, or, you know, do the thing, you know, not conform and have children. Like, it is your life. And, you know, if you were to find out that you're going tomorrow, you're not going to sit back and go, oh, I'm glad I did what my mum and dad wanted me to do, or I'm glad you know, and that's not to say I'm there. Like, my self-worth journey will be a forever journey. You know, I'm certainly not there, but I'm a hell of a lot better than I was. You know, and I'm now grateful for our separation. I'm grateful for the hardest thing that I ever dealt with in my life has made me a better person. Awesome. Thank you. Great question. Awesome. Yeah. Waco. You've spent years pushing for a different way to build homes in Australia, faster, cleaner, and with a level of precision that most people here have never seen before. You came from Shanghai, built a powerhouse homes from the ground up, and you've been fighting to shift an industry that's not easy to move. So I want to ask you this. Through all of this innovation, the resistance and the responsibility that you've carried, what has the journey asked of you as a man? And what part of yourself did you have to hold on to the tightest to keep going?
The question actually got me back all the way back 2007, just before I landed in Sydney Kingsford Airport, where I spotted those containers lying idle next to the Kingsford Airport in Port Botany. I remember I just finished reading a cabin magazine talking about the housing crisis, and I looked down through the windows and looked at the magazine. I thought, is there a correlation between the two? So I guess that's what you called light bulb moment. I thought maybe there was a message here that if we use structure and put them into homes and turn them into a solution to solve so-called housing crisis, I think I've killed two birds with one stone. So with that, I couldn't wait to get off the plane. I totally forgot about what I was in Sydney for. There's only one thing that I could make a reference to was something in Port Hampton in Hampshire, I think in UK. It was a office block made out of shipping containers, but they still look like shipping containers with potholes cut out, painted hideous colors, and some people occupy them in the office. But you can't live in there. That was the only reference I could use to give me some understanding of what the industry is doing. So basically it's a blank space. Mm-hmm. Today, 80% of homes in Sweden built in a factory. And here we're still looking at it as if it's, wow, look at this, let's not touch it, or we might get caught, or might get disease out of it. So it's absolutely crazy. Yeah. When this happened, I thought if nothing is happening, it was nothing in the country for homes built in a factory, I thought, what if I start? So I put everything in it. So company was incorporated March 2009. At that time, I was still by myself. So there was no one there. And I had a bit of money left, so I engaged a media manager who used to work for Channel 9. She said, I can look after you as far as media is concerned. It cost me $800 for her work. Wow. So the return is that I was on a current affairs for good reasons. What happened was the story was absolutely positive, and overnight become a household name. So that was the beginning of the journey. The first year when I first started, I built 5 prototypes. There was no get. There was no get at all. Does that mean I need to stop giving? No. So there's one lesson I've learned is that I have not given up.
Analogy.
You need to wait for your time. And a lot of people, I'm very sorry to say that, most people walk away. The statistic shows, that many years ago I read, 3 years, a new business will wrap up. So because they haven't got enough. If they haven't done it 3 years, either they call it quit themselves or the shareholders say, hey, you've done it, you idiot. Just pack up and go. So that's probably the biggest lesson or advice from me. I'm not there yet. So
Thank you so much.
we not there yet, but we're on our way.
No, keep working. That sounds brilliant.
Thanks.
So who have you got a question for, Waco?
Have I answered the question?
Yes.
Good.
You did.
I have a short question. There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
Paula, what part of yourself did you have to sacrifice in order to become the woman the world now knows you as? And have you ever wanted that part back?
Damn. What did I sacrifice? As I told you before, I made a very conscious decision as a young teenager not to get married and not to have children. Okay, so I don't regret any of that. That allowed me to be the gypsy I became. And it allowed me to come back into the fold 25 years ago, back to Melbourne as my home with my family, and resume a really beautiful, deep connection with them and my friends. What do I regret? I'm afraid I don't regret a thing.
Yes. How good's that?
I want to regret something, but actually don't. And that my life has been something of an incredible journey. If I drop dead tomorrow, I've had the best life already. So,
That's beautiful.
regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do. So, hurrah, huzzah, whatever. I have no regrets, only more great times ahead.
Regrets like anything.
Miss Pearl, that was beautiful. Your turn.
What do you got in there?
Question for sister. Noni. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Noni.
Noni. Just
Yeah,
double
like
checking.
naughty. Yeah, means only water. So no is only and ni is water.
I love that.
Noni.
This is a really long one, and I'm reading it for the first time. So excuse me if I tremble.
That's all right.
Noni, you left the islands to build a life on the mainland. You fought your way into kitchens. You built a business from your culture. And then you watched it all fall apart in public. What is the truth from that collapse that you've never said out loud? Because it would reveal the part of you that is still bleeding.
I don't think I feel that way. I think it's a learning curve, and I think I started with nothing, and I can always start again. And I think we all go through those things. And you know, you walk down a street, and many businesses go through what I went through. But I also think that it showed me to be resilient, you know, and that like that was just another learning curve. I still have 90% of what I did, you know, it was just one thing. And everybody goes through challenges. And for me, I think that was just, I will always be a part of that. But that was years of my life being attached to that. And now from that, it's sort of like, I guess, a rebirth from the ashes. As Indigenous people, we do the burnings, right? We burn off so that the new growth can start. And I felt like this was just my burn off because I was already heading into another direction anyway. And so it's all about kind of just taking that new rebirth of the new shoots that are coming from that. And so much more came of that after that happened. And now I get to do some incredible things that I have time for too as well. I feel like sometimes it's all, when I think about it now, it's about that burning of new beginnings, of getting ready for burning. The rain comes, then the sprout grows again, and then there's something new that comes from that because the seed kind of blows down to something else because all those seeds kind of travel. So for me, I think that's how I feel about, like, you know, the changes that I went through. But it all came so fast and quick. And yeah, you've got all those feels about it. But I do think that for me, it was a burning of a new beginning. For sure.
Ooh. Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful
Amazing.
imagery that you've just given me.
So, we have one more question.
Frank, thank you so much for this wonderful meal, first of all. Frank, you've built Movida from a tiny laneway bar into an institution with multiple venues, books, and a whole food movement behind you. Growth can be a gift, but it can also threaten the simplicity and authenticity that started it all. If you had to choose one dish on your menu that still carries your story, the dish that reminds you who you are and why you began, what would it be and what's the story behind it?
Well, yeah, look, I mean, the food at Movida has evolved a long time. Well, it's almost 25 years since we first started in a pub in West Melbourne, so it's been a very long time. In that time, so many people have gone through it and added their mark. But there's one dish I think that has remained part of the signature of what Movida is, and it's a very simple dish. It's 3 ingredients, but it does represent what we do, and it also represents where Movida is in Australia, in Melbourne, because it's a combination of 3 flavours that are common all around the Mediterranean. Whether you're in Greece, whether you're in Italy, whether you're in France or Spain. We had made all these smoked tomatoes, and we'd over-ordered, and I didn't know what to do with it. I go, I'll just make a smoked tomato sorbet one day. And then sort of thinking about, and that's often how dishes are created in restaurants. It's a creative process that is making do with what is already there, facilitating what is there. And it's thinking, okay, so those 3 ingredients, bread, tomato, and anchovy, what if we've made that sorbet and added part of it? And I think since then, it's become, we must have sold hundreds of thousands of these particular dish. And it's one of those ingredients that, back in the day when if you started, people go, oh no, don't eat anchovies. No, I would not ever eat an anchovy.
That was me.
Yeah, there you go.
And then I was converted.
Exactly. Well, that's right. I mean, there's such a different perspective on, the anchovy, hairy little fish you get on a pizza, right? So, but this is, so I think that represents what we do, because it's, a classic, simple combination of flavours, but just slight tweak, which is, I think, what food in Australia in general does extremely well. Something that if I had on in Spain, people would probably go, hang on, that's not how we do it, right? So, but the added freedom of being able to do it in Australia, because obviously, my heritage is Spanish. I was born there, but being Australian, so I think that really, represents how I like to cook.
It's amazing, mate. Yeah. Incredible. Thank you so much.
You've absolutely excelled.
Thanks, Steve.
The food, everything's just been phenomenal. And I don't want to push our friendship, but I have an envelope for you. So if I can pass it to you, Tom.
Sure. Okay. for chef. I like to be called chef. So this is a question for you, Ben. All right. Ben, you've spent your entire life protecting other people. Presidents, prime ministers, royals, people with power, people with enemies. But I want to strip all that away for a moment. The danger, the discipline, the duty. When none of that identity is standing in front of you, who protects you? And what part of your own life has been left completely unguarded all these years?
I think the people, I have this belief that we should all be thankful for the work of others that we would never see. So often I've been that person that's helped someone and they'll never see me again because of what I've done for them or the things that I did at the time that kept them safe, either from themselves or someone else. And I simply think about the Garbos on Christmas Day. And everyone puts out a six-pack for the Garbos because you never see them through the year, but goddamn, it's good that they don't leave the garbage there for you every week. I like having a clean house and no rubbish. So I think being thankful for the work that other people do is that. And the thing I'm most thankful for is stoicism and philosophy and the protection that I've had from that in facing some of the most horrific and terrible things in society on a daily basis for a decade. And I think without the work that others have done and contributed in centuries gone past that wouldn't even begin to imagine that I existed, I would not be the person I am today. So for those who have gone before us and for those who have written and shared knowledge and wisdom and philosophy, I am a better man for it. And they are the ones that protected me. Who protects me is philosophy, for sure.
That's right.
Yeah. And I really appreciate everyone's honesty and vulnerability tonight. It's been amazing.
Ben, thank you so much, mate. Cheers. If there's one thing I hope you carry with you from tonight, it's this. The people sitting next to you, walking past you, standing quietly behind you in life, they're never just ordinary people. There are giants amongst us, and maybe the most beautiful thing we can do is totally see them. This is the 7th seat, and this was our moment.